Well, I think our staff has done a good job week in and week out of talking to the guys about how important it is to come every week, and the leadership is really the guys who drive that on the team, and their buy-in right now is pretty high. So you're only as good as your last game. So we've got to keep that going. But up to this point, I think we've played with energy. But that goes back to how we've been practicing. So we've got to get out there today and practice.
Front row middle, Dave.
Coach, I'm sure you had high expectations for your team coming in here. What's been your biggest pleasant surprise on either side of the ball, or is there anything about your team through 7 games?
Nothing, that strikes me other than what we talked about in terms of the chemistry and the leadership, the buy-in, the way the guys are working together, the energy that they have. I mean, that part's been great. And there's a great culture here right now. I think guys enjoy playing, they enjoy practicing, all those things. So, that part's been great. I mean, there's a lot of things that guys have done well, but you try not to reflect too much on all that right now. You just, it's got a huge game in front of us right here. We've got to stay locked in.
Aaron Browning, I know you're not going to talk about injuries specifically, but is he dealing with some type of injury, or could it be something else?
Yeah, it's an injury, and he's working through it, but he looks good so far. So.
Front row left, Mitch.
Ryan, Wisconsin lost the game it was not expected to lose. How does that affect the way you prepare the team and what you say to them about Wisconsin?
We know how good they are on both sides of the ball in all 3 phases, and they got great players on both sides of the ball, NFL players, and last week is what it is, but this is college football, and so you have to bring it every week, and it's the same thing with us, and we have to bring it this week. This is going to be our best game of the year. It's going to be our biggest challenge on both sides of the ball, and we've got to prepare better than we have all year, and we know that this is a good team. I mean, they've played against teams we played against, and so you can compare the competition, and they've done a really good job. Obviously, it starts with the running back and the run game on offense, and then it goes to what Coach Leonard's doing on defense, and they do a great job. We've gone up against them before, and we know schematically they're really good, and they play tough. They're smart, all the above.
Right behind him, Bill.
Ryan, Wisconsin's defense has first or second highest sack rate in the country. What is it about the way they play that allows them to get after quarterbacks so well?
They got really good rushers on the edge. Vaughn, does a great job in one-on-one situations. He's very active and powerful, especially in third down. And those linebackers do a great job as well of adding on or blitzing in different situations. But the secondary is very talented as well, so you have to hang on the ball maybe a little bit longer than you wanted to. But again, it goes back to personnel and scheme. When you combine the 2 of those things, then you get what you see in terms of statistics.
And your offense obviously is playing very well, but the one number that is a little out of whack for you guys is how many sacks you've given up. And I know it's not just pass blocking, Justin can hold the ball long or try to make something happen, but just overall, how do you feel about your pass protection? And I guess could you let us in a little bit on how you all communicate that, trying to get the right protection of the guys lined up where they need to be?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a few things that have gone on this year. Some of it's protection, but some of it also is that Justin tries to create, and he works through his reads, but then there's times where he wants to extend and create, and that's okay too. So it's not the end of the world sometimes on third down if he's looking to create if we take a sack, because there's also times like in that big third down he got 3rd and 14, he avoided a sack, probably could have thrown the ball away there. He didn't. He avoided the sack and then keeps his eyes downfield and finds KJ for a first down. So I think it's a little bit of that, but there are some things we got to clean up in protection as well.
How do you feel about the way that Justin sees that pre-snap and how he and I guess it's Josh sort of communicate that to everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, the center makes the call, and Justin's on board with that, and then he can also trump him at any point, and they communicate that. We spend a lot of time on protection and making sure that we're identifying where the pressure is coming from, and then those guys have done an excellent job, in my opinion, of communicating the protection. And so we've held on to the ball a little bit longer this year, but that's by design.
Front row right, Austin.
Ryan, you talked about DeWand after the game. He's such an interesting athlete. You guys used him on the field goal block. It looks like maybe if you want to, he could be an extra guy in short yardage or something. Is it worth going beyond 4 games with him to come up with a role, or do you need to just have one more left with him?
He'll probably go more than 4, just because he is very talented. We want to get him in some of these games, when we can, and his ceiling's very high, and we want his development to continue. And I really think it's important for these guys to play Again, we won't be foolish with this and waste a year, but at the same time, the more these guys can play, you saw that in the fourth quarter. I thought on both sides of the ball, guys were into it. We were playing hard. We were competing. I think that goes back to 6 or 7 games of guys playing and being on film and getting better and having that hope that they are going to play in a game, as opposed to going through 6 or 7 games without ever actually getting on the field, and that can kind of stunt people's development. So we're going to play them if it makes sense. We also don't want to be foolish.
And Bear, he didn't look like he was at full speed. I don't want to talk about the specifics there, but just getting him involved and the way he was able to respond, how significant was that just to get him through that game, and he gave you guys a lift in the game?
Yeah, it was gritty. It was tough. Thayer, played for his teammates, which goes to show you what kind of kid he is. Great kid, unselfish. I think the day off was great for him. He's feeling good, and he should be ready to go this week.